Howdy, 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 my name's Anancha Sasuke. Welcome back to Let's Read Homestuck, the epilogues. Last episode we read the first 3 chunks of meat, and also the prologue, which was very weird so far. There was a weirdly described thing of John eating what sounded like raw meat, and then he went back into the game and then punched the crap out of Aranea for some reason. Gamzee was there. I don't really understand what that has to do with what he actually had to go back into the game to do, because it doesn't sound like you really needed to do that. Also, Dave is trying to convince the Carcat to run for president of Earth so that Jane doesn't win because he thinks she's a fascist. Anyway, you arrive in the land of heat and clockwork in a flash of white. A column of brutally hot air blasts up from the lava below and instantly hits your entire body. Luckily, you're fairly immortal, so the only damage it does is to fog up your glasses a bit. Through the condensation, you can make out the shapes of Dave and Jade below, as well as 2 more of you hovering in the air above. Both Johns turn to look at you. On the ground, Dave is talking in a particular cadence, one that is familiar to you, his longtime best buddy. Casual, wandering, verging on droning. It's a good indication he'll be monologuing for a while, and probably already has been. I'm serious. The thing is, being a time guy, like actually mastering time travel, I'm pretty sure that what that involves is learning to never use it. See, it's like karate. Well, it's more like what they say about karate, that you learn it so you don't use it. But I mean, we all know the truth about karate is if you know karate, then obviously in reality you use it all the time. It's like doing lethal fucking crane kicks and sweet karate chops while walking down the street just because you can. It's a goddamn no-brainer. That's what you do with karate. John, what the fuck are you doing here? Or wait, actually, 3 Johns? Hey, 3 Johns, what the fuck are 3 Johns doing here? It's a fair question, which logically should have been directed to the oldest and most knowledgeable John. Nevertheless, one of the younger Johns replies first. I don't know. John 3, John, don't worry about it. I'll take things from here. Johns, don't get me wrong. It's cool that you all randomly dropped by again, but this wasn't really the best time. We were kind of in the middle of a thing here. Whoops, sorry. Actually, I only came here to swoop in and zap this John away without being seen to retcon away the mess I made earlier. I didn't expect to see another John here. Hey, other John, I said I'll handle it. I'm the only one who actually knows what's going on here. God damn it, Johns, what the fuck did you do? Young Dave, please, let me deal with the Johns first, then I'll explain. Young Dave? Oh, yeah, why are you a fucking adult now? Did you grow up and start time traveling, dude? Will someone please tell me what the fuck is happening? Johns, there's no reason for you to hang around anymore. Not to sound like a wet blanket, but the things you're trying to accomplish are now useless, so you can just zap away and do whatever you want. Useless? Wait. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I'm sure you can still go and do what I did when I originally did what you're currently trying to do. Jesus, John. In fact, it will still probably be a very rewarding experience. Some of my best memories happen right after you do what you're about to do next. The point is, you should just go do it so that you aren't here anymore. I'm here to make sure some new and different important things happen, and those things don't include you. Oh. Okay. The useless John zap away. You sincerely hope that they have a beautiful, fulfilling youth. Adult John, what the fuck have you done? Is this some time travel shit? Please, don't tell me you've been spending the next however many years bungling through time like this, because, to be honest, if what I just witnessed was even remotely indicative of the shit you get up to on a recurring basis, then your future is almost too embarrassing to even think about. And this is coming from a teenager who was just in the middle of an angsty episode. It's true. No, Teen Dave, this is not at all representative of my habits as an adult, but thanks for the concern. I'm not time traveling, and neither were the other Johns. I use my retcon abilities to travel here from the future, in a manner of speaking. Sounds fucking stupid. It is stupid, but that's just how things are. I'm a little confused. I'm supposed to be hunting you down and capturing you, but I'm not sure if the adult version of you counts. Oh right, this is Grimbark Jade. I think the goddess might just be confused if I brought her an adult John. There'll be a lot of questions that need answering, that's for sure. No, you don't need to capture me, and you wouldn't be able to even if you wanted to, since my existence literally transcends the confines of canon. Well, I guess that simplifies things then? Yup, pretty much. In that case, would you mind giving me and Dave a few minutes to wrap up our conversation? We were sort of in the middle of something important, I think? Nah, you really weren't. Sorry to be the bearer of lame news like I was to the other Johns, but whatever you were doing doesn't matter anymore. Nothing that's happening here matters at all. This session, this whole takeover about the contest, this isn't how a universe gets made. It's not? No. Well, I mean, it is, but it already happened. We already made it. And we've been living in it for years already, from my perspective. Oh yeah? How is it? Pretty cool. I mean, a little boring at times, but hey, that's life. Yeah, that's how I thought it would be. So what now? If it's all a done deal, like preemptively speaking, can we all just relax or what? Actually, no. Fuck. Ah! I just realized why she sent me to this point in time to start recruiting you all. What? Who? Rose! Why'd she do that? And what do you mean recruit? What the hell is going on? This is the moment just after you made your legendary cue ball sword. You're gonna need it. For what? To come fight Lord English with me. Dave's eyebrows descend beneath his sunglasses. You feel pretty bad because you're about to completely circumvent the life-changing epiphany he's just had that you know for a fact will make him a happier, chiller, and altogether more well-balanced human being. Ah, shit. What? John, he is not going to fight Lord English just yet. He is staying right here, old lady's orders. Actually, yes he is, and so are you. We all are. Oh my god, how dare you! Jade, you're brainwashed. Sorry, but nothing you're saying now means anything. It's fine, though. You'll stop being brainwashed once I zap you outside the influence of the contest. You're not zapping me anywhere! Yes, I am. Watch this. Zap Grimbark Jade out of there. You set a hand on Jade's shoulder and zap her off to a better place. Then you touch down on the concrete surface where the whole pointless confrontation was taking place so that you can talk Dave around whatever it is he's going through right now. Dave, like his ecto-sister, really needs to get in an absurd amount of extraneous words before he can fully process the situation. The mayor tips his head at you and fiddles with his sash. God damn you, miss the mayor. So, what do we do next? Well, I'll leave you to hang around with Jade for a bit while I go round up the others. What? Others? Like, everyone? Yes! Rose and the other four. I see. So, sorry if I seem a little slow here. I'm just trying to figure this out. You're telling me that I made this sword because I'm destined to defeat Lord English, and we've all been training for that day our whole lives to some extent, more or less, and we are actually successful here. Like, we overthrow the goddess and make a universe and everything, and then we sit on our asses for several years in the new universe and become adults and lead mostly boring lives instead of going off to fight him? Yes. Guess that makes sense. Now that I think about it, that's probably what I would want to do by the time we finally wrap up this whole hot mess. Yeah, it is pretty much what you wanted to do, and pretty much what everyone else agreed, including me, so that's what we did. Which, I guess begs the question, if it seemed pointless at the time and nobody could be asked to go fight him when we all had our shit together, why does it suddenly become important to go back and beat him years later after we become a bunch of lazy adults with boring lives? I pretty much had the same questions, Dave. There are probably some pretty good answers to that, too. Definitely some complicated answers, but to be honest, I kind of forget what they actually were. God damn it, John. It has something to do with canon unraveling and such. We all live outside canon in the future, and if we don't go do this, everything will stop meaning anything. Does anything you actually said mean anything in the first place? That's a great question, Dave. One that I can't say I'm qualified to answer. I think the bottom line here is that this is what Rose said we had to do, so that's why we're doing it. Sounds like a bullshit reason if I ever heard one. You might be right, but it is less of a bullshit reason than any other reason we currently have to go fight him. Damn, you're right. I don't know how you did it, but you somehow instantly sold me completely. Fuck you, adult Egbert. Still got it. You zap Dave off to where he needs to go. The mayor is still staring at you, blinking his buggy little eyes. You shoot him a warm smile and a thumbs up before bouncing off into the ether of infinity. Probably should have ripped him out of this timeline and sent him back to the future! The stands of the Cantown Memorial Arena are packed front to back with audience members from every kingdom. Presently, the crowd is going nuts, enthralled by Jake English's skillful posing and mollified by the deeply theatrical stage dive that Dirk has just taken onto the mat. Dirk, in fact, has unquestioningly eaten shit. His shit eating was so brutal that no one, except maybe Jake, cares that he's taking a phone call in the middle of a live broadcast, and no one should, really. The broadcast has been going on for 3 hours already. Dave takes a seat on the couch right in Carcat's butt groove. He observes his battered eco-father, who is lying inside a wreath of busted robot limbs like a piece of absolute garbage. Bro, I'm watching you on the tube, and I gotta say, while the beatdown you just received was as thorough as it was humiliating, I'm afraid, as usual, the solution to this problem should probably not involve your decapitation. You fucking drama queen. Damn. Are you sure? Yeah, Jake just kicked your ass. That's really all there is to say on the matter. You're probably right, but still not entirely sure we should be so quick to rule out my beheading as a catch-all solution to any given problem. It really could save us all a lot of trouble in the future, especially me. It's really amazing how this meme we have going here continues to be exactly as funny as the day it was established. Isn't it always, though? Yeah. By the way, how did you get your ass kicked so hard? Jake sucks and his raps are fucking awful. Please tell me this garbage show is as rigged as it looks. On the TV, Dirk makes an elegant hand sign that once might have represented solidarity with some ancient coastal rap group, but has now been utterly divorced from his cultural context here on Earth C. The camera pans away from him and over the crowd. It zooms in on a young crocodile wearing an oversized t-shirt with Jake's highly marketable ass plastered over it and the phrase "Tally-ho" written in big bubble letters. Dave, there's such a thing as showmanship. I'm sure I don't need to explain this to you, of all people. Okay, cool, it's fake, just making sure. We really don't like to use that word. Alright. Holding back a little to achieve certain results doesn't necessarily mean you're participating in a farce or rigging the event. We do this all the time. We hold back our thoughts, our true feelings, our full potential. We disguise how much we know about what and when for many purposes. To ease relations, to let others behave naturally and make up their minds without undue intervention. To wait for the right moments, to show our hands, to pick our battles. In life, there are many reasons to show restraint, which would never be regarded as an attempt to rig reality. Oof. My dog, you are full of some shit today, aren't you? Absolutely. And when it comes to theater, there are just as many reasons for restraint. To build tension, to set the stage, to give the people someone to root against. Is that what you're doing now? Making the people root against you? What, by losing a round? Nah, man. That's just standard pacing stuff when it comes to Battlecraft. No, I mean by holding up the whole fight by talking to me. I can see you on TV, they're booing you, dude. The crowd has indeed finally exhausted both its patience and its thirst for the ceaseless ogling of Jake's impressive glutes. The camera swings around to focus on Dirk, who, since landing on his self-admittedly second-rate ass, has not moved except to make arcane rap-related hand gestures. The excitable Salamander demanding the camera switches to a fish-eye lens for some unfathomable reason, giving the whole exchange an air of demented absurdity. Dirk's sunglasses distort and stretch to dominate the entire screen. Oh. Then yes, I guess that is what I'm doing. Dirk, are you going to be much longer with your telephone call? The crowd is getting feisty. You didn't get too badly winded from our last scrum, did you, Dirk? No, Jake, I'm fine. I'll just be a minute. What about the agitated rabble? They're starting to throw things. I don't know, do a dance or something. Sing a song. They love anything you do. Okay, sounds stupid, but I'll try. Jake tips an imaginary hat towards center stage and begins doing the Charleston. Dave is subjected to an entire fisheye lens full of Jake's booty shorts flexing and constricting against his tan thighs. Just as Dirk predicted, the crowd immediately loses his shit except for a single Carapashian in the front row who continues to glower at Dirk with an expression of absolute and total contempt. Why do you want people to hate you so much? It's fucked up. You're reading way too much into it. If I wanted another round of embarrassingly indulgent and mutually masturbatory psychoanalysis, I would have called my daughter instead. Do I need to point out how fucking weird what you just said was, or can that start going without saying at this point? I think it can go without saying. Nice! The point is, playing myself up as a villain figure in this hacky rap pageant has nothing to do with getting people to dislike me. Besides, everyone loves a good villain. When they boo, they don't really mean it. I think you'd be surprised by how popular I actually am. I don't know, man. Something flies out of the audience and smacks Dirk in the side of the head before flopping out of view of the camera. He doesn't react or make a facial expression at all. Did someone just throw a diaper at you? There's gonna be some diapers, yeah. Sounds bad. The point is, this is much less about me and more about providing a foil for Jake's heroism and charisma. It's very important that his popularity continues to be cultivated to maximize his political capital. Political capital? What the fuck are... Okay, how long have you known about the Jane thing? I mean, is this something you've been planning for, like, a long time, or... Planning is such an intense word, god damn it. Look, let's just say there have been some conversations. Does that meet with your approval? Jane is a shitty candidate, dude. She's gonna be so shitty. I thought you'd feel that way. I respectfully disagree. I guess she's a good friend of yours and all, but even you have to admit how far up her own ass she is. Of course, I consider it to be among her best qualifications for the job. Christ. Okay, if nothing else, have you at least taken into account the devastation to the economy this will cause? You know perfectly well how much we differ on fiscal policy. Maybe this isn't the best time for one of our spit epic debates on the subject. Yeah, what was I thinking? Wasting the time with the dude currently holding up a televised rap contest so bad he's getting diapers thrown at him. Dave, I think if you search your soul, you'll come to the same conclusion I have. Jane is just what this planet needs. We've all had our fun here, but it's easy to overlook the fact that civilization on Earthsea is hardly a sustainable proposition. Just beneath the surface, it's quite a dangerous and unstable place. I know that, which is why I actually think it would be cool to have a president that is good instead of bad. He's not as great as you think. What? Who, Obama? How dare you? No, fool, Carcat. Oh. I think your heart is in the right place, but the dude is a complete amateur. Who could eat him alive? I also have a hard time imagining he even wants the job. Really, it's an awful idea for him to even run. Think about how much it's going to inflame the interspecies tensions on this planet. Is that what you want? I'm happy for both of you, really. It's nice that you encourage and support each other in this way. But you're sending him on a fool's errand which can only end badly. Dave opens his mouth to argue, but something else occurs to him. Wait. How do you even know he's entering the race? We, just decided this. A competent political operative has his ways. Besides, it was always pretty obvious to me you'd react this way the moment the announcement was made. Okay, that's pretty creepy, I guess, but it doesn't change anything. He's running for president and he's going to fucking win. End of story. Fair enough. Though now I'm wondering, since you and Jane have been planning this for a while, how many key endorsements have you locked up? Because if you've already got Jake on your side, then I guess we might as well just fucking quit. I wouldn't worry about that. He and I don't quite have the rapport we once did. He's over me and doesn't spare opportunities to make ostentatious demonstration of this claim. Basically he doesn't like being told what to do, especially not by me, so it's fair to say, as of now, he's still fully in play. Not that I should be encouraging you, really. You are one double-talking son of a bitch, you know that? I can't tell if you don't want us to run or a reverse psychology mind-fucking us into running. Does it matter? I guess not. Not like I can just stand around and wait for President Crocker to, fucking write grammar laws into the Constitution. Good. That's a heroic attitude to have, which I'm pleased to hear, even if your plan is stupid, which it is, even if Carcat would be an atrocious president, which he would. Nuh-uh. Sorry to cut this short, but diapers are starting to come down pretty hard right now, and some of them haven't even had their babies removed. What? That was a joke. Goodbye, Dave. Dirk hangs up and wipes off his face. The mood in Canton Memorial Arena is tense, snapping and popping from the dual cooling and heating of the audience's expectations and tempers. An uneven silence begins to fall over the stadium as Dirk hops to his feet. Jake can't help but watch the motion, raking his eyes over the muscles shifting beneath the skin of Dirk's neck and arms. That's uncomfortable. There's something implacably magnificent about Dirk Strider, Jake thinks, untamed like a wild game beast of incredible size and strength. Of course, their history together is never far from Jake's mind, however many years it's been since their last tussle of an amorous nature. The old dramas and triumphs in the days of Esberg. Dirk's companionship has been taxing to the heart, to say the least, and yet he's taught Jake so much about combat, philosophy, life, love. But sometimes, despite their checkered and problematic past, Jake wishes that he could seize Dirk by the proverbial horns and wrest him bodily into becoming a much more agreeable fellow. Then again, who would Dirk be if he weren't so contentious and imperious? Certainly not someone to inspire such wistful lollygagging, Jake cannot help but observe. Sorry for the momentary diversion, Jake. Now, where were we? Momentary? God zooks, man, you were on the phone for half a friggin' hour! I know you like to get the crowd all hot and bothered, but we're supposed to be professionals here! You're right, my bad, won't happen again. How about you kick off the next round? I bet the crowd will settle its shit right down the moment you drop the latest rides you've been tinkering with. You know the ones. Gasp, you don't mean... Oh, but I do. Jake's face lights up. He composes himself, adjusting a bow tie, although he's not wearing one, and makes a vague gesture like he's twirling one end of that mustache Dirk has not yet let him grow. Dirk lets him go with a gentle smile, like the sort you give a dog performing a trick adequately. Jake responds to the signal like an Olympic athlete hearing the starter pistol. He was born for this. This is gonna hurt. Tally-ho, it's me, Jake Meeky! Popping my pistols off, 2 shots and a kiss. My aim is tops, I never miss. 1 shot to the heart and the other to your lips, I'm heedless. You can't impede this. Well, these cads are all hat and very little cattle. Cattle so weak one fears they might be feedless. As I prattle and digress, you try to make your regress in the middle of the battle, but surely ye jest. Fiddle faddle! My rhymes are known to bring rattle. I rattle these bones right to the bit. I'm a mellifluous old chap who knows how to take a hit. I'm the tip top of the morning, a rip's roarings. Halt to your snoring like pouring butter on bacon. Their hunger awakens. All the rascally scalawags and dastardly jacket snapes always ask me, mate, what is shaking? With golden gas pipes such as shakings. I'm dodging their shade and ducking the jape slings, while my rum stokes a thirst that my rhymes have been slaking. The crowd, as Dirk rightly predicted, has settled its shit right down. This is not due to any accidental brilliance on the part of Jake English, but rather due to an abashed but loyal brand of pity. The kind of devoted fan cannot help but feel when they see a beloved celebrity make an ass out of themselves during a live broadcast they've waited 2.5 years in line to buy a ticket for. Dirk's phone begins going off again. When the splendid lads and ladies ask me, how do you do whoops. Sorry, Jake. Sorry to cut you off. Looks like I'm getting another call. Really need to take this one. Gonna have to wrap this battle up sooner than scheduled. With a casual flick of his wrist, Dirk snaps out a bright red tranquilizer handgun and shoots Jake in the neck. Jake's glasses crack when he hits the mat. A chorus of boos rises up from the crowd like groundwater. Dirk artfully dodges a bucket of obscene troll fluid to field yet another very important personal call. Yo, Rose, what's up? On the one hand, I feel like I probably shouldn't actually have tried to do that, but on the other hand, now, in between the last time I read Homestuck and the epilogues, I learned what chap hop is, and I'm pretty sure that Jake has been doing chap hop. And now that I know what chap hop is and how chap hop sounds, I do now know how to read Jake English's rap battles. Look up. The sky's really blue, but it's a different kind of blue than Earth sees sky. It's less somehow, like someone took a photo of the sky and turned the contrast down a little just to make enough to make the clouds blend into the horizon. That is to say, it isn't the kind of sky promised by a paradise planet, just an ordinary one. You suddenly realize how much you've missed the ordinary as opposed to the supposedly perfect. You've been away from home almost as many years as you lived there. It's not just the sky. Everything else is exactly and nothing like you remembered it. The scent of damp grass, the quality of the air, solitude. There's nothing but white houses and maple trees as far as the eye can see. A woodpecker raps away incessantly at the tree with the tire swing outside your old bedroom window. You couldn't think of anywhere else to go, so you and your little army are sitting in a circle in your old backyard exactly 1 week before the meteors hit. It's you, Rose, Dave, Jade, and all 4 of your teenage progenitors, each dressed in god-tier garb. No trolls. No one who can die from anything less than a heroic sacrifice. At least this is what you assume to be the reasoning for Rose's instructions to assemble your party this way. Wind slices down the street between the neat rows of bungalows. It's chilly, carrying air from the mountaintops with it. Even that feels different. The wind moves through you now, under your skin and right into your bones, skimming their hollows the same way it does the homes of your salamander neighbors or the open mailbox in front of your childhood house. The smell of a cake-baking wasp from the open window and the sick stench of browning sugar fills the yard. Used to hate that too, but now it makes you want to... Dude, don't cry in front of all the cool teen versions of your friends. You hold back your tears with a big ugly snort. Jake is sort of ruining mood anyway by bouncing away on your old green slime pogo. Doesn't he realize how dangerous that thing is? Of course not, the fool. Dave fractures the silence by broaching the subject that's on everyone's mind but yours, apparently. So, what's going to happen to everyone that we left in the wrecked timeline? Well, I don't know, actually. I've been to that timeline 4 times now, and it always pretty much goes to shit. Oh. This has been bothering me as well. Is Kanaya going to be okay? And by Kanaya, I guess I mean everyone? Yeah, what about Karkat and Terezi? And the mayor! Oh my god! What? Actually, Dave, I hate to say it, but I think John might have actually saved the mayor by bringing us all here? What? What could that possibly even mean? I just remembered. Before John zapped us all here and unbrainwashed me, I think I was going to kill the mayor. What the fuck, Jade? No, Jade, that is seriously uncool. I know! I was going to kick him right into the lava. That is fucked up on so many levels, I don't even know where to begin. It's like an Escher staircase of cartoon villainy. I got nothing. It's so Grimbark? Woof woof. Jesus, no, Jade, it's stone cold evil. I can't believe you just said that shit and then woofed at me. I can't even look at you right now. Everyone turns to look at you immediately like you're an authority, which you kind of are. You're struck with the sudden and uncomfortable realization that you were the only adult in the yard. You've never felt like an adult until this moment. 18 came and went and nothing really changed except that you're pretty certain you could grow a bitching mustache now if you wanted. And you might have even had one by now if you didn't feel a sense of duty to uphold the sacred Egbert family tradition of shaving at least once per day. Even if it isn't really necessary, you owe at least that much to the memory of your departed father. Let's chill out for a minute. I'm sure this is all very confusing to all of you about the timeline you're leaving behind. Yeah, I get it. It's weird. I've already left one major timeline behind, well, 2 if you count the one I just came from, where we're all adults. The truth is, I have no idea what happens to these timelines and all the people living in them. When I just zap out of them to use my retcon powers to change stuff, they might stop existing completely. I don't know. The thing is, we can't really think about it. It's tough, but if we're all acting like heroes here and trying to do the right thing, then we have to put it all behind us. It's a sacrifice we're making. I mean, we're risking our lives by fighting a powerful monster, sure, but the sacrifice I'm talking about is saying goodbye to the life we thought we belonged to and all the people in it. Probably forever. It sucks, and I'm sorry I had to ask this of you all, but there's no other way. Everyone who has ever existed and will ever exist is counting on us, I think, so, yeah, shrug. It's all you can do to punctuate your speech of lukewarm inspirational value. Judging from the confused looks of the others, all of them share your assessment of your own oratorial skills except for one person. She's perked up at your spiel, regarding you with alert and admiring eyes. Damn! John, I know we just met and all, but that was a fine-ass speech, and I don't know if I speak for the rest of my peeps here, but I'm fucking psyched. Let's do this shit! She walks at you. You weren't prepared to get passively hit on by the definitely not legal version of a girl you used to have a crush on at the age when you first met her, only a few hours after you watched the actually legal version of her engage in passionate hand-holding with her possibly aromantic skeleton alien monster girlfriend? You start to sweat, and again the unwelcome odor of undercooked meat emanating from your body makes itself known to your nose. Oh, thanks. Anyway, we need to make battle plans. You quickly distance your mind from any additional discomforting thoughts about your old and semi-ex-flame and propel yourself into a wildly unrehearsed tactical planning session. You review each of your abilities, strengths, and weaknesses, and then cobble together a reasonably sound approach to besieging a young and bratty version of Lord English by way of surprise attack. The planning is mostly disorganized and structureless, although some common themes that often recur involve you and your original 3 friends leading the charge, since you are the oldest and wisest and therefore the strongest, with the exception of Jade, whose gaudy array of powers make her the most formidable of the group, bar none. Aside from that, it appears that the consensus is that the melee will likely devolve into an absolute free-for-all, at least going by the general patterns of incoherent banter, shit-talking, and points of pedantic tactical disagreement plaguing the jam section. You overhear someone making mention of a huge gay hope bubble? That can't be right, but you didn't catch who said it. A flamboyant pink spell? Yeah, this conversation is off the rails now. At the precise moment you believe the meeting has outlasted its usefulness, Jake does you the favor of effectively pounding the gavel for adjourning by rocking back a bit too far on your lawn pogo and launching himself over the top of the ride on the next bounce. He faceplants right into the dirt. Jeepers! Dirk goes to help your yard clean the Jake off its dirt. Jade follows to help out. It seems she wants to chat with Jake, considering it's the first time they've met from her perspective. Some eruptions of chatter can be heard from other members of the group. It's easy to forget since the reunion between your friends and all your young relatives happened so long ago from your point of view, but this is all quite novel to everyone here. They've hardly had a moment to process it since your plan to drag them all off the fight Lord English has understandably stolen the thunder of an otherwise poignant homecoming. Poor kids, you think. You decide to give the teens some space to work through their shit before you take off to save the universe. You end up wandering all the way around to the other side of your house and back until you reach a window facing the neighbor's fence. You can see straight into your dad's study from here. You go still. Feet rooted to the ground, heart hammering in your ribs. Your dad's sitting right there, smoking his pipe and operating his professional-looking, boring gray PDA. He's got the kitchen timer set up on his desk, and you can hear the notes of your favorite fatherly jazz album, filtering out through the window, which is only open an inch. The sun is hitting the glass in such a way that you can't see his face. This is probably the last time you'll ever have the chance to talk to him. The urge is overwhelming, but you can't, and not just because your feet won't move and your throat is closing up. It's just that it would be a really bad idea to bother him. It would totally freak him out to have an adult version of his son show up out of the blue and knock on the window like a creep. He probably wouldn't even recognize you. Fair enough, it's time to go, John. You return to the backyard. Your friends have split off into genetically segmented groups. Roxy and Rose sitting in the grass, Jade and your shared ecto-parents laughing together by the green slime pogo, and the Striders leaning against the farther fence with a tense foot and a half space between them. It's heartwarming, but something doesn't feel right about it to you. Possibly for selfish reasons. It's a selfishness of your own perspective, of wanting the memories you had of the reunion between all these people to be the most notable and legitimate manifestation of this event. To see the moment echo or play out all over again, to overhear the heartfelt confessions repeat themselves. It feels cheap. To you, that is. To the man who lived through it all before and selfishly doesn't want to have the memory tarnished with a tawdry reprisal. An exhibition of counterfeit emotional catharsis among pale shadows of those you care about most in the world. You wonder, do you see these teen versions of your friends as real? Are you treating them at Rose's behest as simple puppets? Doing your part to insist they fill friend-shaped recesses in an essential plan to stabilize all else that can be considered important? A distinction no longer applied to them? Do you care at all about whatever fate it may be that you are sentencing these children to? Are you becoming complicit in the fatalistic evils of Paradox Space as Lord English himself? Are you becoming a monster, John Egbert? You can't bear to watch them bond any further than this, nor can you tolerate another moment of your self-incriminating reverie. You wait one more minute before breaking it up, but not a second longer. Hey, kids! Please, adult John, don't do that. Rose gets up from the grass, elegant as a fold in paper, and brushes down her skirt. She tilts her head at you, looking very much like your Rose did when she saw you off that morning. It's obvious she's trying very hard to hide her apprehension. Is it time to go? Yeah, I mean, no. If you want to get technical, I can zap us in whenever, wherever, whatever. We have all the time in the world if we want it. But if we don't leave now, you're afraid we never will. After all these years in the reverse direction, she still has your number. I guess it's true that people don't really change, they just grow up? Rose gives Roxy a strange look, appearing to silently acknowledge the entire conversation that's been taking place using a great volume of words that aren't being spoken. I guess, she smiles. Get the show on the road. Okay, everyone, I've never zapped this many people before, so let's all just, hold hands, maybe? In a circle, I guess? That should work. God, this is so lame. It's not lame, it's perfect! Nah. Shh! Alright, is everyone ready, then? Only Jade says yes enthusiastically. Everyone else takes a deep breath and looks around at each other. Hands are taken, some tentatively, some firmly. When all sweaty teenage palms are correctly clasped, you place your own hand on Jade's shoulder and concentrate on where you need to go. The last thing you hear before zapping away is your dad's kitchen timer going off in his study. The boxing bell's going off like it's having a fit! Dirk has to stick a finger in one ear to hear what Rose is saying over the cacophony of booze and buckets being lobbed towards center stage. He considers it all pretty fucking annoying, so he flips off the crowd and jumps the ropes. Always a good idea to abscond from the stadium before the customary show-end riot hits full swing. The last standing robot scoops up Jake's unconscious body and cradles him to its chest before blasting off through the roof. On the other end of the phone, Rose lets him know what's up. It's not so much what is up as what is down, the answer to which is proverbially me. I mean that both physically and philosophically, by the way. You're down philosophically? Yes. I'm not sure what that actually means. What doesn't it mean, Dirk? Glad to see that my genetic predisposition for melodrama is still alive and well in my slime progeny even after all these years. Please don't interrupt. This is important, and I need all the energy I can spare to sustain even a heavily monologic transmission of the relevant facts. I see. Forgive my brief, casual interjection into the conversation you initiated. Please continue. Thank you. Anyway, the matter at hand is my condition, with which you're already familiar. I struggle to devise the right way of telling you without causing undue alarm, which would unquestionably trigger the overbearing tendency of yours to solve the problem for me, which is not the kind of circumstance my constitution can withstand these days. I can barely lift a wrist to my forehead to telegraph my infirmity of late. Your bullshit is precisely the 1,000-pound feather that could knock me clean through my apartment's plate glass window. This is troubling to hear, of course, but rest assured I'm taking solace in the fact that your infirmity doesn't seem to have spread to your vocal cords yet. See, Dirk, this is exactly the shit I don't need from you on this day. Sorry. The bottom line is this. I'm ascending, and it is terrible. What does that mean? Let's see. Rose adjusts her position on the couch with the body language of one about to dive into a later gossip about a mutual friend. The mutual, in this case, her tortured psyche. Years of refining my seer of light powers have cursed me with what is approaching near infinite prescience. Dwelling in this idyllic post-canon realm has worn down the barrier separating my primary consciousness from the memories and experience of all my doomed alternate selves, which were forgotten and discarded over the due course of our journey. As I approach the realization of my ultimate self, I cannot stop the extant knowledge from seeping in. I am plagued by near constant visions from the less fortunate versions of myself, as well as a broadening view of the metatextual nature of our existence. Day by day I get closer to comprehending the full picture of the narrative. However, I'm still trapped in this limited body. There's only so much strain that my very finite synapses can take. It drains all of my energy to keep my consciousness focused on relevant events, but even then I'm losing my ability to discern what is and is not canonically relevant, let alone what is also true or essential. And all of this is making me incredibly fucking sick. Oh, is that all? Well, in the spirit of full disclosure, same. Rose is silent on the line for a few moments. Dirk can hear how labored her breathing is, how thin it is. She snorts out a quick, humorless laugh. Really? That's the hottest take you can manage? Of course not. They haven't built the vessel yet that can withstand the temperatures of atmospheric energy into one of my hotter takes, let alone the hottest. It wasn't a take, it was an empathetic admission towards my pitiable, similarly omniscience-stricken offspring. We are suffering from the same condition, Rose. She allows several rare conversational beats to pass in silence between them to process the admission. We are? Sure. It doesn't sound to me like you're suffering much at all. Well, I'm not. I guess I'm used to I used the wrong phrase. You are suffering from it. I'm adapting to it. I already have, really. When were you going to tell me this? When you were ready. So you've determined that I'm ready to receive this rather critical piece of information now, of all times? What distinguishes the present from the other moments you could have mentioned it? Were you waiting for the effects of my condition to become so unendurable that I finally felt the need to explain what was happening to me in full? Were you, in essence, waiting for a cry for help? Wow, well, when you put it that way, it makes me sound like kind of a dick, but I guess it isn't far from the truth either. Unbelievable. Look, it's not something you just spring on people that frivolously. Hey folks, just so you know, the boundaries of my awareness are coming apart and now I know almost everything about everyone everywhere. Also, the process should be tearing my body apart, but actually I'm handling it quite well. Thanks for the concern though. Anyway, just thought I'd keep you all fucking abreast on my incomprehensible brain and all. Peace. Fine, you're a cagey guy. This isn't breaking news. I'm not pissed at you, I'm just so confused. Why aren't you suffering the same effects as me? There will be time to explain all of this. Despite whatever appearance of callousness I've maintained in withholding this information from you, I actually do have your best interests in mind. I don't want to wear you out on this call. There's so much more to say, but it can wait. For now, I'll just mention that I've been alert to your problem for some time, and I've been devising a solution which should permanently remedy it without compromising the boon of your expanding consciousness. You have? What is it? Would love to tell you, but I've got some work to do. Why don't you stop by my studio later so we can hash this shit out in person? Right now, you should get some rest. Actually, I'm feeling oddly invigorated suddenly. I think I'm good for more exposition if you are. Can't say I'm surprised, but no. Have I caught you at a bad time? Nah, but there's an election coming up, and my work as a political operative is going to be absolutely essential for the fate of humanity. I see. Wheels within wheels, I assume? There are always wheels. Wheels are everywhere. They aren't my wheels or yours. The wheels don't have owners or designers, but they do have caretakers. They won't keep turning on their own without someone to grease the mechanism. Well, what a burden it must be to recognize oneself as the sole mechanism of reality itself. It's a curse, but somebody's got to do it. Save your strength. Come to my studio when you're feeling up to it. Goodbye. Dirk hangs up without waiting for a reply. He cracks his neck and tips down his shade so that he can appreciate the full brunt of the sunset. Purple and orange blending brilliantly on the horizon. She's right about him, he thinks. While his ecto-daughter views herself as having a somewhat deft artistic hand that lends itself naturally to the gentle push-and-pull style of influence, Dirk knows his methods are mechanical like those of an engineer. There's nothing adaptive or interpretive about his method. Every piece has a purpose, a slot, an interlocking mechanism that is functionally pointless without the whole. Dirk, satisfied with this moment of particularly astute self-reflection, rocks back on his heels and launches himself into the sky. Oh, there's an eighth one. Guess I should just do this too. I thought that meat stopped at 7. John, zap to your final destination. Where the hell are you? Where the hell are we? I can't see shit. Ah! It's dark, not like someone turned out the lights dark, more like someone destroyed the concept of light at its very source dark. It's a darkness that fills up your skull. Jake puts it more eloquently as Ollie. As always, by golly, it is indeed dark as fuck. Shush! Jade breaks off from the group. She moves through the air gracefully, ears twitching as she sniffs through space like a bloodhound. There! She exclaims and points down, all the way down. Look down. All the way down beneath you there is a light source, gray, focused, like a spotlight, except that it's folded over the curvature of the space beneath it. At the center of it stands teenage Lord English, all decked out in his ostentatious god-tier jammies. Gamzee's there too for some unfathomably stupid reason. There's a robot bunny chilling out on the top of a chest, looking cool and kicking its cute little bunny legs back and forth. You hope that neither of these unexpected dramatis personae will play a role in the coming battle, because it wouldn't feel right wailing on either of them at this point. Lord English is holding something that looks like Lil Cal? It's definitely Lil Cal, and Lord English is definitely waltzing around with it in his little spotlight in the middle of nowhere, swinging the puppet around by both his floppy arms. Well, rather, he was waltzing around. He stopped the moment you looked at him. Behold your adversary. Who the fuck are you? You simply refuse to answer his question. Instead, you do something so much better. Something that will make both his inevitable fate and your regard for his character incontrovertibly clear. Give him a thumbs down. It's a textbook thumbs down. Better, actually. The kind you can't actually teach. Lord English drops the puppet. For a moment, he looks shocked, maybe even a little afraid, but it passes quickly. He starts laughing. Never mind, I know who you are. It was foretold by the masterpiece I made when I was but a boy. What? Be quiet. I'll have you know that you just interrupted a groundbreaking interpretive art piece. It was the first of its kind, performed only once, and made more valuable for its rareness. Wow. I said shut up! It's rude to talk through overture, but don't worry. Although you missed my very important dance demonstration, which was an unprecedented art of genius and not at all embarrassing, now you will participate in something even more important. The young lord's face begins to distort. The unhinging of his jaw reverberates in the empty space. He laughs through the remainder of his nefarious soliloquy, which he has possibly prepared in advance for this moment. By now, surely many have witnessed my masterpiece, as it has circulated throughout the black veins of the dark web. Trillions have witnessed His Majesty, haters and fools alike, and they have been rendered agog by my art virtuosity, my claysmanship, and my wrestling moves. But now, the time has come for everyone to shut up about how great my masterpiece was, and the time is now at hand. His laughter turns into a low crack gurgle. It spikes towards you in waves, distorts, and pitches low. He is beyond pleased with himself and what the line is about to deliver. For you all to become my masterpiece. Okay. Epilogue 2. Okay. It's Meat 9. Once again, I thought Meat stopped at 7. If you were one of the haters and fools who saw Lord English masterpiece circulating through the black veins of the dark web and were rendered agog by its majesty, then you probably have a pretty good sense of what happened next. You probably also wouldn't be rendered that much additionally agog if you were told it didn't happen precisely as conveyed by the young lord's expertly produced claymation theater. Would it be that surprising if the first 4 heroes weren't immediately captured in the juju, as the dark web swan song broadcast through the bogus Vine videos originally depicted? Probably not. Would it raise any eyebrows if the action turned out to be a bit sloppier than that? A bloody nose here, a stray wedgie there, someone trips on a cape, loud eruptions of the word ow, petulant insults, smack talk, crude gestures, and stray honks from the sidelines. Would it rock anyone's world to discover the stop-motion feature did not treat this battle royale with the utmost fidelity? No one who witnessed the spectacle online would react to these discrepancies with much surprise, but you were not a witness. You were still John Egbert, and you had no idea what sort of raucous teen pandemonium to expect when you zapped into the lair of your nemesis to throw down. Which is why you were completely blindsided when, upon feeling overwhelmed by the melee, Caliborn sprung his gambit on you and your 3 best friends to even the odds. He opened his little red chest and out came his white, house-shaped juju, levitating there, threatening to behave as the weapon many treasure hunters throughout history have described it to be. Upon a second look, it's not quite white though, it's colorless, null. A house-shaped hole in your confining reality, a hole that insists on being filled. You tried to resist its overwhelming pull, but to no avail. The force is too strong, not like the sucking from the vacuum of space or the tug from a gravitational singularity. It was more overpowering than any force in nature. Almost metatextual, not negating your powers, your strength to resist so much as it seemed to overwrite them. The juju sucked you, Rose, Dave, and Jade into its void at the speed of eternity, squashed down to half a second. You landed in the abstract prison it contains face first, alone, and with a force that made you flip over a few times and skid along by the flat of your chin. You groped for your glasses, instinctively finding them in 2 cracked halves. You cradled their remains as you looked up. The blurry, distorted face of your laughing nemesis was the last thing you saw before the chest door slammed shut and plunged you into textual obsolescence. And here, you are now stuck. You will not emerge from this holding cell from an outside perspective for quadrillions of years. It's not long at all till you begin to wish you had brought something to read. Okay, I feel like I need to check to see if we're still in meat, or if Candy just decided to keep going. Okay, never mind, it doesn't actually say how long they are. So, maybe I should stop. I don't know why I thought meat was 7 long. It didn't even really say. Okay, so let's stop meat at 10 then. So, this has been Anansi Sasuke. This is episode 147 of Let's Read Homestuck. If you liked it, a like and subscribe will be groovy. If you didn't, you need to do either one of those things. And now I'm gonna go recover from doing the Caliborn voice for the first time in like 2 years. Later.